Hello, my name is Melanie Isaacs, and I am thrilled to be a presenter at the Autism Society of Greater Phoenix conference, talking about the important issue of creating more inclusive workforces. I'm the founder of an organization called PAL Experiences, where our focus for years has been on making places in our communities more accessible and inclusive for guests with autism and related disabilities. We've worked with the sports teams, the museums, we've worked with restaurants, but recently we had an experience where someone who previously had not gone out much felt confident in trying something new using our tools and visited one of our partners. This single successful visit turned into many visits and eventually into a job. This was such a rewarding story to hear, how exposure to the community led to passion for the topic and then to employment. Full circle inclusion. PAL is dedicated to supporting individuals at all stages, so we are excited to create digital tools, just like the ones for our community, that support inclusive workforces. So today I will be talking about how everyone gets to go to work. It is critical that we have this conversation. 80% of neurodivergent Americans of working age are either under or unemployed. Having a disability puts you in the largest minority group in the world, yet only 38% are in the labor force. That's compared to 78% for people without disabilities. And when looking at all the jobs across our country, only 4% are held by people with disabilities. Yet 20% of Americans have a disability. This does not add up. So why is this happening? I think there are many reasons, but certainly some are access, opportunity, and an inclusive mindset. 70% of families impacted by autism are socially isolated. This is the reason PAL Experiences was founded. We realized that going into the community can cause so much anxiety over not knowing what to expect, sensory overload, and challenges with communication that 70% of families choose to stay in. These barriers also affect employment. It is time that access is put in place. Tools need to exist to support an inclusive workforce, and I firmly believe that it is time for employers to step up and create these accommodations. There's also the issue of opportunity. There is a dire need for education to employers on the benefits of this untapped workforce. We do not need individuals with disabilities to adapt. We need employers to adapt. An inclusive mindset. We really need to create a new norm that is inclusive, allowing coworkers, teams, HR, all to understand, appreciate, and activate inclusion. So many folks can understand how a ramp would help a coworker who moves differently. We need to spend time talking about tools that support coworkers who think differently. This changes perspective and understanding and is a step towards true inclusion. So how do we do all that? Well, PAL's mission has always been to create access and inclusion to ensure everyone's experience needs can be met. Now we are looking at our work through a brand new lens. How do we create tools to support employees with autism and related disabilities when going to work? Just like our tools for the community, we focus on the main challenges experienced: anxiety over new experiences, sensory sensitivities, and challenges with communication. We can create digital tools to address each of these. I want to share how we have built a pilot of this employment program with a partner called Blue Star Recyclers. They are an electronics recycling company based in Colorado. I'm going to share the program we created, then discuss the strategy we used to make it, so that hopefully you can apply this to the work you're doing, with employers you know, with individuals with disabilities looking for jobs, because I believe this recipe can really transcend. Here is our Blue Star Recycler's Pal video showing what to expect when going to work.
Welcome to the Blue Star Recycler's Pal video, showing what it's like to work at Blue Star. With Pal, everyone gets to go. Blue Star helps protect our environment by recycling electronics. They also create jobs for adults with autism and related disabilities. Blue Star was created by Bill Morris in 2009. There are now locations in Colorado Springs, Denver, and Boulder, with more on the way. Blue Star receives used electronics directly from consumers. And they pick up larger orders from businesses. Once an item arrives, it's brought to production, disassembled, and stored for shipping in the warehouse. This is Ian. He works in production at the Blue Star location in Denver. He was recently promoted and now serves as production lead. Each day before he comes to work, Ian gets ready at home by checking his facts. It stands for feet, armpits, clothes, and teeth. Ian wears clean socks and shoes, he's got on deodorant, his uniform is washed, and his teeth are brushed, nice and fresh. Oh yeah, Ian is ready for work. Ian puts his things in his locker and clocks in so he can start his shift. The production area is big, and it can be loud. Safety is the #1 priority at Blue Star, so Ian wears gloves to protect his hands and goggles to protect his eyes. He can wear earplugs when he wants, but today he wants to jam. When Ian first started working at Blue Star, he didn't know how to disassemble electronics. Now, he's a rock star. Blue Star managers teach their employees everything they need to be successful at work. Ian spends most of his time taking apart computers and other electronics. He uses different types of tools to separate the parts, then places them in boxes to be moved on to the warehouse. Ian likes working at Blue Star because he gets to be part of a team, all working together to help protect the environment. Ian works until his 30-minute lunch break. He eats in the break room with the rest of the crew. If Ian needs to use the restroom during his shift or take a break, that's okay. Ian knows that if he ever has questions about something or needs help, he can talk with his manager or teammates anytime. Blue Star is a really fun place to work. At the end of each day, they celebrate their accomplishments. Sometimes they even have a dance party. When Ian's shift is over, he grabs his stuff, clocks out, and heads outside to catch his ride. Ian loves his job. He learns something new every day. He's making money, and he wants to work at Blue Star for a long time. Like everyone at Blue Star, Ian plays an important role in helping to protect our environment. It's been a great day at work, but now Ian heads home. He is proud of what he does at Blue
I hope you guys enjoyed that. It was a really fun program to create. So now I want to talk about how we built it so you can apply it to your own work. The first step we took was conducting a site visit. This was basically a sensory inventory where we partnered with a BCBA or a board certified behavior analyst to task analyze, every step that an employee takes when working at Blue Star. We noted the sights, the sounds, the smells at each step, and we walked through the exact tasks that an employee would take to be successful at work, from clocking in to eating lunch with coworkers, all the way to leaving. We noted existing accommodations and put together our insider tips and sensory scales. And these are on our website, and they're a great way for employees to get a taste of what it'll be like. And then they can make the best decisions and best choices to prepare themselves for success. So for example, it can get quite loud at Blue Star. So the loudness scale is at an 8. Potential employees can know that, maybe they want to bring some headphones to help if volume can be triggering, or maybe this isn't the right fit for them. But these tips are really to give employees that power of choice. We take all the data that we gathered in the site visit and we write this social story script. So this is the video you just saw, and it is the evidence-based best practice of creating a video social story that reduces anxiety by showing what to expect. So this has been commonly used in behavioral therapy for decades. We're just customizing them now for going to work. Another technique we use is video modeling, which is the idea where you star an individual with disabilities so the viewer can identify with who they're watching and feel more empowered. In this case, we starred Ian, who is amazing and was really excited to be in our video. But we follow him going to work and capturing, all of the sensory he's experiencing and all the emotions he experienced as a new employee. He told us he was nervous when he started Blue Star because he didn't know how to do the work. So we wanted to make sure we explained in the video that's okay. Blue Star is going to help show you what to do. So, we're really excited about the idea of having this whole library of videos so employees could really watch them ahead of time and find the job that really spoke to them. So while this video social story is meant to be viewed before arriving to work, we have a PAL guide that's meant to help while you're there. We use some more behavioral therapy techniques in this tool, including a behavior chain, which is the idea of breaking down a complex task, like going to work for 6 hours, into smaller bite-sized pieces. This really helps with transitions and gives structure to something that otherwise may feel overwhelming. This digital guide also has assistive communication, so employees who are nonverbal or might have limited vocabulary when overwhelmed can communicate quickly things they need, like a break or a drink, and also ways they feel, like I love this or I'm not into this. Just having that power of speech. This is also a really great tool for employers to have in their pocket. And if they notice a new employee who's having a hard time and having trouble communicating what's wrong, they have got this right on their phone and can open up that line of communication, which is so important. Once Blue Star had all of these, they are a recognized PAL place that can start informing potential employees about what to expect when going to work at Blue Star. Like I mentioned earlier, our vision is really to have this database of employers. Everyone is completely unique in what appeals to them and what would make a rewarding career. So employees with disabilities should not have to just take an opening if it doesn't interest them. A library of PAL places would allow folks to watch videos and have that power of choice when selecting a job. The limited number of positions available for people with disabilities, I believe, is based on employers' limited understanding of the benefit and value add it would have. So educating employers on these things, plus how to support, communicate, and create a positive workspace for all are really key pieces of the puzzle. I would love to create a PAL program for employers on what to expect when hiring an inclusive workforce. I believe creating a program similar to the Blue Star one, but for these employers, would really help communicate through videos and digital tools how they could be the best to everyone on the staff. These resources would also help coworkers know what to expect, and then foster a better, more inclusive workspace. I also feel passionately that no one should be limited in opportunities. So if an employee with disabilities becomes really excited or passionate about a subject or a trade, having supports to help with continued education, um, those should really be in place. So thinking about college pals or trade pals, making sure that all the doors are open for every employee to continue their education if they want. So these are all um, the tools that we have kind of piloted and are really working on at PAL, but I'm hoping that you can see some value or some insights and apply it to maybe your organization, your work, share it with people you know, share it with employers you know, because there's really a lot to be done to build this awareness and activate this inclusion. I think a great step is partnering with companies who are really doing a lot of good in this area. There are more organizations than ever before, which is very exciting, that are helping to connect employees with disabilities to employers. Um, some of my favorites I've seen are Ability Jobs. This is the largest employment site for job seekers with disabilities. They also help with resumes, they help with cover letters, and even the interview process. Inclusively is another organization, and this provides tools for employers as well. So how to create inclusive workforces, tips and strategies for hiring. So it's great to see some more work being done for employers. And then there's an organization called, oh, I'm so bad at saying it, Special Stream. I'm so sorry, I did not say that right. It's a Danish company, but their work is amazing and they are all over the globe. So if somebody's interested in working abroad or traveling through their work, this company is really great at connecting employees with disabilities with employment opportunities all over the world. Another really exciting development in this space is the dedication by many organizations to be more inclusive. Um, you know, there can obviously be a lot of talk in this space and not enough action, but there is definitely giant strides being made, and often the leaders in this space are the Fortune 500 companies. So some of the companies doing amazing work right now in creating inclusive workforces are Ernst & Young, Microsoft, L'Oreal, just to name a few. There are a lot of organizations in the tech industry, but it's great to see more and more organizations adding commitments so that employees with disabilities have this opportunity to choose the industry that appeals to them. Again, I think the power of choice for people with disabilities, just like anyone going to work, is really crucial in making this a successful, inclusive um, community to work in. So a few tips, hopefully taking some of this, applying it to your own work, but just tips to think about when going out there and building these inclusive workforces are really, one, just rethinking the interview process. I think if we all spent some time educating employers that, the interview process was really not built inclusively. It is based on a flash first impression, social graces, small talk. Those things can all be really challenging for adults with disabilities. So be creative with the interview process. Maybe try a working interview. That's what they do at Blue Star, and it works really well. You could also give questions ahead of time to applicants or allow them to answer in writing, um, and just rethink that whole process, because that is the first barrier to getting a position, or a job, and it's really time that we rethink how that works. Something that every employer could do today is create a picture schedule for tasks throughout the day. This is easy as taking a photo of each step an employee takes during a successful shift, from clocking in to eating with coworkers to washing hands before lunch. All these things that you feel are important for the position, just take a photo of it. Having a visual schedule like that is tremendously powerful and can help really set employees up for success. Another tip is just to be super clear with expectations. Avoid idioms like, oh, this is easy as pie, or it's like giving candy to a baby. Many adults with autism-related disabilities are very literal, and these sentences really make no sense when you think about it. They can just add confusion. So being really clear with expectations and avoiding sayings like this. And also being aware of unspoken social cues. This is important for employers to know and for coworkers to understand. Maybe an employee with autism is standing really close to a coworker. That coworker shouldn't assume that maybe if she's nervously shifting or giving him a look with her eyes, that's not an effective way to communicate with this employee that you'd like some more space. Try just clearly saying, I'd like some more personal space, please. And then you're really creating a better line of communication for everyone on your inclusive team. We are all working towards a society where everyone gets to go anywhere they want. And the fact that you're a participant in this conference just makes me excited, because I know you are also dedicated to this idea and mission. But it certainly takes time. It takes work, and it takes continued advocacy. So I really appreciate you showing up and listening. And please be sure to share these tips on creating an inclusive workforce to help spread the impact and help make sure that everyone gets to go to work. Thank you so much.